understand more clearly about this concept. Can you turn off the slide share group 4 so I can share mine? Okay, thank you. Let me share the slide that we have here. Okay, can you see my slide? Go to this slide. This one is the important slide you need to remember. Okay. There is assumptions, but it's really close to reality. There are three main players in the money supply process. The first one is the central banks in any countries. Okay. The second one is banks. Actually, they are financial institutions. They might be banks, they might be credit unions. In Vietnam, we have people credit unions. In the US, they have different type of banks. For example, credit unions or saving banks or commercial banks, different type of banks. But in Vietnam, most of the banks are commercials, and we have people credit unions acting as banks as well. And depositors may be individuals or organizations or businesses that have money depositing in banks. Okay, so those are the three players in the money supply process that you need to remember, and each of them have a certain roles. And if you look at the equation that Group 4 just presented, we can see that three players are both important. Three of them are all important in the money supply process. Okay, let's go to. Okay, in the simple model that Group 3 already presented, we already know that from $100 million at the beginning through the money supply process, it can create 1,000 million of money supplied in the economy. But if you look at the simple model, you can see that the increase in deposits is equal to 1 divided by required reserve and multiplied by increase in reserves. So in this formula, you can see that there are only one actor that play important roles here, which is central bank. So when the central bank increase or decrease the required reserve ratios, it will impact the process of money supplied. But in reality, the simple model doesn't work because there are still other actors such as the banks, financial institutions, or depositors. So that's why this simple multiplier is criticized by many economists, and that's why we need to learn about the more complicated model later on. Okay, so in this simple model, there are several limitations. If people hold cash or depositors hold cash, it will stop the process of increasing money supplies in the economy or creating deposits, right? And also, banks may not use all of their excess reserve to buy securities or make loans. They may keep it at the vault cash as excess reserve. And if they keep it at their bank, it cannot transfer to other banks, so that it stops the process of creating more deposits in the economy, which cannot improve the money supplied, right? So, and in addition, the depositors, the people who are holding cash, they can keep money at their house, or they will not deposit into banks. So that's why we need to learn about the other models. And if you look at the slide that Group 4 presented at the quite beginning, you can see that there are three actors here. There are three players here: central bank, banks, and depositors. So if the non-borrowed monetary base, MB, and increase in values, then the money supply will increase, because the more money base, the more deposits creation in the economy. The required reserve ratios, if the bank increase, central bank increase the required rate of return, the required reserve, then the money supply decrease, because banks have to keep reserves. They cannot make more loans or security, buy more securities. So that's why they cannot increase the money supplied, right? Another factor is borrow reserve and excess reserve from banks. If banks borrow reserve, that means they have more reserves, and then they can make deposits, and that make the money supply increase in response to the increase in deposits. The excess reserves, if they keep more reserves at the bank, that means they will not make loans or buy securities. Then money will not be out of their banks, and thus make the money supply decrease, right? Because bank would keep it for themselves. They would not buy securities or make loans. Okay, for depositors like individuals or financial institutions, businesses, if they hold cash, they do not deposit money into banks, then banks do not have more money to lend out or to buy securities to make more deposits in the economy. So that make the money supply decrease, right? So that's how it works. And there are three main factors, main actors, main players that can impact the money supply in the economy. And also, okay, this is the same that people already said. Okay, if you look at the equation here, if you look at the equation that Group 4 just presented, you can see that here is money supply. And money supply is always equal to money multiplier, which is small m, and multiplied by money base. So basically, in any economy, the central banks always try to improve the money base, and by the money multiplier, they want to increase the money supplied in the economy, or they want to control the money supply in the economy M. So when you see the equation and the derives from the simple model, we can see that M equal to 1 plus C divided by required reserve plus E and C. This is very important to understand why there are three factors that can impact the money supply in the economy. If you look at M here, you can see that M will depend on C. C is a currency that individuals or businesses want to control, want to keep in their business or their home. RR is the required reserve that central banks require commercial banks keep at their vault cash or at their at the central bank account. Okay, and E is the excess reserve here. And with E here, if banks want to keep their money higher, higher amount of cash at their bank, then it will impact the money, money multiplier, and then in turn it will impact the money supplies. So you can see here that the relationship between money base, MB, money supply, money multipliers, and money supply in the economy. And the central bank always try to control and stabilize the interest rate in the economy or the price of the economy. So they try to control, but they cannot control completely. They only can control by the required rate of require reserve here, right? But the other factors, the other players, individuals, commercial banks play very important roles in um, deposit creations and lead to the money supply in the economy. Okay, so that's the main intuition behind the money multiplier that you need to understand. And if you understand that there are three main actors and each actor will play a role in this process, then you are good with the lesson. Okay, so so that's why in order to control or in order to impact the interest rate in the market, the central bank always try to impact those factors. For example, they would have the direct and indirect policy to impact people to keep or not keeping their currencies, or to impact the commercial bank to keep their excess reserve or not. Okay, so those are the important equations, and that's, I think that's all you need to understand, and you need to know about the money supply process and models here. In the simple model, it's only 1 divided by RR, right? But in here, you can see that the money supply model is more complicated. It depends on the other factor, C, E, and C, okay? But remember, C is in the both, it is really important to see that it's not only in denominator, it's in the 1 plus C here too. So that's why it can impact the money supply in the economy. And come back to the formula, you can see that DE, the current ratio, C is the current ratio, is equal to currency that people will keep in their home or at their company instead of deposit into the banks. And excess reserve equal to excess reserve divided by deposit. That means is equal to the amount of the reserve that is not required to keep, but the bank still keep it, divided by the deposit. And I think group 4 also mentioned about deposits. In the US, they have different type of deposits, but mainly they have demand deposits and time deposits. It's similar to in Vietnam, we have checking account and saving account. In checking account, you can withdraw money anytime you want, but in saving account, if you have a certain maturity, you cannot withdraw before that, right? Or you will have penalties, or you will not get interest. So that's why when we are calculating this, we only depends on the demand deposits, but actually in reality it's more complicated. Not only two types, we can have different similar type deposits at the bank. For example, CD is certificate of deposits, or different type of accounts that can influence the money supply process. Okay, so I think that's it. If you can understand this formula and the actors, then we are done with this lesson. It's just similar to group four presentations. Okay, so that basically the main contents of this chapter. And do you have any questions or anything that you don't still don't understand that I can explain to you? If you don't have any question, then we can have a small break here. Um, and we will be back to discuss more questions and also a case study. Okay, so let's have a break at 10, 11, 5, and I will be back at 11:15. Okay, so let's have a break. Stop sharing, and I will give you the link for the discussion. Okay, I'll see you at 11:15. Okay. Okay, I'm going to share the link. In that, we have some discussion questions and one debate question. So you can, let's go to the debate question first. You can go to two sides and then enter your answer into each column. Let me give you the link first. Okay.
Dạ, hỏi nè. Cô hỏi lên. Lúc nào cũng rất rất. Dạ, đây là gì nè.
Tôi ông già vào. Okay, can you go to the link? Let me share the link here. Okay, let's go to the first question that we are going to discuss today. Should central banks adopt digital currencies? And a lot of central banks, they have what they call uh, digital currencies of central banks, or central bank digital currencies, CBDC. So we we have like two sides here, opponents and proponents. Some people might agree that we need to have digital currencies for central banks, but some people do not like the ideas. So can you type your name here and your opinion about this in two sides? And the people who are having a good answers would have credits for answering that questions. Okay. So, for example, you can put your name here, and then if you are an opponent, you will put your answer here. And if you are opponents, you will put your answer here. Okay. So I would give you about 10 minutes to think about the questions and type the questions in the columns here. And then anyone want to speak about it, let me know. Okay, are you clear with what you need to do? We put it in here. Okay, good. So actually, if we meet face to face, I can group you into two sides, and you can debate with each other. But because we are online, so I just want to do this so you will have some uh, opinions up here. Anyone can use the first slide. I actually when asked cô Hương and thầy Thái give you credits for the online class because I think it's more difficult to engage and speak in front of students, other students and teacher in online lessons. So you will have more credits in this online if you participate and engage in the discussion. Okay, I see some comments already in here. Ttnh effectively in controlling and managing the money inflows and outflows. Okay, faster in transaction time. By showing your answers, it's actually helped me to know that you are in class, and cô Hương and Thầy Thái will put it into the attendance sheet, I think. It can threaten consumer privacy and threats to security policy. I think there's some good answer here. You actually can learn from other if you read their comments here. Anyone in the class invested in cryptocurrencies? Last time I remember somebody created the Google Sheets for me. Can you put it into the case one study in my sheets here? I don't remember who did it for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I will put it in.
Yeah. So, can you help me to put the answer of the first session in here in the case study one, so I would know that which group have the answers and what are their answers? Okay. Did you help me last time?
Yes. Okay, I will.
Okay. So, can you help me to put it in the sheets here, because all the answers, all the people who participated in the discussions and also the answers in all the sheets here, I'm going to give it to Cô Hương and Thầy Thái for grading at the end. So I need to have that for you, for everyone. Okay, yeah, I saw it here. Thank you. I just cannot believe it, dear. You guys really fast with technology. Không được ấy. Xong. Phạm Văn Đạt, Ngô Hải Nam, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, can you tell me what is your opinion on this issue? Do you think we should have or we shouldn't have cryptocurrencies? I mean, digital currencies for CDBC, for central banks? Should we have or not?
Wait a minute, I am seeking for some information. Wait me.
Okay. Okay, how about Hà Đức Chung?
Yeah,
Got
I'm
it?
here. I'm here.
Okay. What is your opinion?
So my opinion is central bank should not adopt digital currencies.
Right.
And so the first thing is security risk. Digital currency are susceptible to hacking. So the digital wallets are where these currency are stored can be targeted by cyber criminals. The second is limited acceptance. So we are using the money and we are too familiar with it. So with digital currency is still not commonly used as a means of payment by retailers and other enterprises. Because of this, using them for routine transactions may be challenging. And lastly is impact on traditional banks. An official digital currency could reduce the role of traditional banks as intermediaries and lenders, and could pose big problems during a financial crisis. If depositors pull money out of traditional bank to deposit at the safer central bank.
Okay, some good
Yeah.
points. How about the
Yeah.
other side? Remember, only one columns, only one side would have the credits for this debate questions. So if you are in the other side, you need to provide information to oppose to Chung side. Okay, Chung, are you in opponent or? I think you are.
I mean,
right.
opponent.
Yeah, opponents, right? So you don't want to have digital currency for central bank. If you are governors of the central bank of Vietnam, you would not agree to have it, right?
Right.
Okay. How about the other side? If nobody speak for the other side, that means the opponents win, and all the people who are in opponents would get credits for this assignment. How about the other side? Opponents. Do you have any opinions? How you
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have an opinions is besides of their advantage, but
Mhm.
it still can threatening to consumer privacies and threat to cyber security. And for example, like the you can be hacking and several high profile have lost millions of dollars worth of digital currencies, which is damage the consumer budgets. And the digital currency as bitcoins are known for volatility, and the value of bitcoin, for example, can fluctuate wildly in the short periods, and it's making like a risky investment. And maybe we can win some money from this, but we still can lose some money from this.
Okay. So now, are you with Hà Đức Chung, right? You are in opponent side, right? Because it seems that you do not want to have digital currencies for central banks, right?
So you are asking for the proponents, right? I still have some proponents for this, because
no, you have to pick one side. You cannot be in two sides.
So I will pick the proponents because I find more informations about this one, and I really think that it should be adopted.
Okay, so you think it should be adopted because you think it still have good benefits over the
Yes.
disadvantage that Chung just mentioned, right? So
yes.
How about the opponent? Do you have any other ideas? How you agree with opponents?
I have an
Let's speak about her. What side are you in first, right? You have to pick a side and protect that side.
Actually, I in proponent, but because to little people choose opponent, so I just want to give some point of view.
Okay, but you have to pick the final side, because if you give the other sides supporting ideas, then they may win.
Okay, so I choose proponent.
Okay. Tell me what you think about that.
I think the other talked a lot about it. So, with me is four main reasons. The first one is independence from geographic constraints. So being digital, like it do not rely on physical infrastructure and can be accessed globally. So it can easily access to everywhere in the world. And the true fact is effective control of money flow, that it would provide central bank with more direct oversight and control over the entirely money flow, and transactions in a digital currency can be monitored in real time, and enabling more effective regulation and policy implementation. And the central banks can implement monetary policy more precisely. And the third is faster transaction times. So digital currencies opened like the whole day, so it allow for continuous transactions without the limitation of banking hours or holidays. And the last one is reducing physical infrastructure costs.
So basically, you are a proponent because you think it's convenient and it's also reducing costs, right? Costs and expenses. Okay. Okay. Opponent size, do you have any other ideas? People in the opponent size. Okay. I saw a hand here. You can go ahead and speak up.
Oh, well, I'm on the opponent side.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that the value of digital currency just float away. Yeah. One day it may be on top, the other day it's like disappear its value.
Okay, so that's the point. You think that it might disappear, it might be destroyed by hackers or some other resource, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's instability and unpredictability in their value.
Okay, but it's central bank's digital currency. It's not cryptocurrencies. So the central banks actually can manage it some way.
And furthermore, there's often a lack of clear regulatory frameworks governing like in digital currencies.
More complicated, right?
In Vietnam, yeah.
Okay,
like
so yeah, go ahead.
Appropriate regulations to prevent like misuse, money laundering, and ensure because consumer protection can be challenging for government and regulatory bodies.
Okay, so I said that it's more difficult to have digital currency by central banks because it's complex and it might be more costly to manage the whole system with digital currency with the limited infrastructure right now in Vietnam or some countries, right? Okay, so this is opponent side. How about the proponent side? Do you think of any other advantage that you may protect your opinion? I'm going to be the judge here. So, opponent side, anyone to? I'm sorry, proponent side. Anyone want to speak to protect your side?
I still want to protect our size.
Okay.
So with the chance of the globalizations, which mean like the world is going to go globalize, and the digital currencies is they support to access because globalization, because like the digital currencies can be used by anyone with internet connections and regardless of locations or nationalities, and people in country with unstable or restrictive currency can use digital currencies as more stable and secure alternative, and this support the globalization chance of the world.
Okay. Well, I think you have a lot of good ideas here. But if you look at the money supply process, do you think digital currency would promote the money supplied better than the regular deposit system right now? What do you think? People are going to keep currency or not? The institutions can have exit reserves or not? What do you think about it? So right now, central bank cannot control completely the other players, right? The depositors and also the financial institutions or banks. But if it's digital currency, do you think the central bank would control it much better in terms of money supply only? I'm not talking about the infrastructures or other conditions or fraud or cyber risk. But in terms of money supply, that process that we are learning right now, do you think it would be better? That and Nam, I think you said that you are going to have your ideas, right? Are you here?
I
I'm
think
here.
it will be better.
Okay.
I think it will be better because there is no need for excess reserve in commercial banks. So the money supply, I think it will be easier to control if we use central bank digital currency.
Okay, because everything is digitalized, so actually people don't need to keep their cash, right? And also,
Yes.
the every money inflows and outflows would be very clear in the whole system, much better than right now. So I just want you to think about how the money will circulate in the economy, and that's our lesson is about the money supplied and money base that the central bank want to pull out and put in the central banks. Okay, how about that? I think you want to say something, right?
Oh, it's my opinion. Now is talk about. I have a same opinion with him.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I think you all did a good job today. Protect the the position of having digital currency for central banks or not. So I'm going to give credits to all the people who have the answer in the Excel sheet. The Google Sheets here, and also the people who are answering the questions or participated in the chat box here would have extra credit. Okay, so let's go to the other question that I have. I think we can go to case study number 2. Then we will save some time for Q&A. If you want to stay with me and have any question after we are done with the case study case study 2, then you can stay. And if someone need to leave early, you can leave early, okay? Okay, so I actually sent the case study number 2 to all of you already. And I have here the group answer. So can your groups give the answer to the question here. I think case number 2 is about European central banks, and I have 2 questions. Analyze the main objectives of ECB in their policy, how ECB differ from most other central banks. And the second question is, what is the pandemic emergency purchase program? Why European central banks decided to implement PEPP during the pandemic? Okay, so any group member can put your answer in here, and we are going to use this in addition to the presentation to give you more credits for your presentations, okay, on your group voice. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to read the case study and then contribute to your group discussion. Let me open the case study 2. I will put it back to the group chat so you can open it easily. Okay, case study 2. The European Central Bank respond to COVID-19 pandemic. You can expand your column to have more space to write your answer, okay? I saw some groups already put the answer into the blank. Remember, you need to distinguish between European central banks with the other banks, central banks, okay? European Central Bank, ECB, and other banks, other central banks, like Bank of Japan or Fed or State Bank of Vietnam. They are totally different. I'm going to give you 5 more minutes to answer the second questions, okay?
So I have a question that for the
Yes.
first question of our case study, can we use the informations we find on the internet, or we just have to use the informations in the case study you give?
Of course, you can use the information you found on the internet to answer the questions. It's okay. Yeah, but the information in the case study is enough to answer the question enough. But I think if you have more ideas or if you found some information that you want to put into your answer, is totally fine. Yeah, I would love to hear it. Yeah.
Yes, because to compare the ECB with other, we have to use the internet informations. So.
Oh, okay. Actually, I think group 1 on the other day they already presented about 3 central banks: Fed, European Central Bank and State Bank of Vietnam already, right? So I think you already have the information, but I mean, you can use the other source too. That's okay. Everything is opened. It's the quality of the answers. You don't have to put too many words in the Excel. I mean the Google Sheet. You just need to tell me briefly the main points that you think are important for the answer. I saw some of you have a lot of writing here. You don't need to do that. You just need to summarize some points, some main points. It's okay too, but the main purpose is you need to understand the main reasons why ECB have that policy during the pandemic. Sometimes I think it's more difficult to write short than to write long paragraphs. I think it's about time for us to discuss about the case study. So I think each group can give your ideas, and I want each group will answer the question one first, and the group present first can present more, but the second group or the following group should not mention the points that the first group already mentioned. Okay. So which group want to go first? We have 9 groups. I think group 8. Are you done? Group 8 is not done yet. Okay, let me see. Which group want to go first? Tell me why. What is the difference between ECB and the other central banks? Why is so special?
I'm from. Yes, you say first.
I'm from Group 1, and I would like to discuss about the main objectives and the difference of ECB from other central banks. First, we have found on the case study that you give that the main objectives of the ECB are keeping price level at or below 2%, and the other percentage that the case study provides to us is that they implement monetary policy is to conduct foreign exchange operations to manage the reserves of Eurozone countries and to promote smooth operations of the Eurozone's payment system. And the ECB differs from most other central banks in many ways, such as the ECB is responsible for setting the monetary policy for the entire euro area, which includes 19 countries in the Europe. And this is a very unique challenge, as the ECB must take into account the economic of all 19 countries when setting monetary policy. Second is the independence. The ECB is an independent institution, which means that it is not subject to government's interference.
Okay.
And this independence is very important for ensuring the ECB that can set the monetary policy in the best interest of the area, or without being affected by political considerations of other countries.
Yeah.
And the third point we want to prove is that the ECB is committed to transparency. It publishes a lot of information about its decision-making process, and it regularly communicates with the public about its monetary policy, and this will help to ensure that the ECB is accountable for its actions, and their decisions will affect positively in many people's life. That's all we have to say.
Okay, thank you so much. It is good. It have a lot of good points. I will wait until the last group speak up, then I will finalize. Okay, so which group want to continue?
So I want to add another objective or another difference from ECB is ECB cannot buy or sell bonds to control the liquidity of the system, because the Eurozone does not issue unfazed bond. And instead of it, the ECB open market operations take the form of short-term repurchase agreement with member bank, typically with maturities of 1 week to 3 months. And the ECB also implements some monetary policy through the minimum reserve requirement and overnight lending and deposits facility for member banks instead of they sell or buy some bonds.
That's good. That's very good points, because you know that European have 19 countries under European central banks, so they don't have the similar economics and political systems. So that's why they don't have the same tie-up bonds like one countries, right? So it's difficult for them to do the same thing with the open market operation like the other central banks. That's a really good point. Okay. And any other groups want to speak up or add more information into this? How about the other groups? Ngọc, what group are you in? I have to.
I'm in group 9.
Okay.
I'm in group 9.
Group 9 and group 1. Okay. How about the other groups? Hoàng Hà.
I'm in group 2.
Okay. Group 2.
Also, I just want to put some point. One in main objectives of ECB. I just to sum up that the main objectives of ECB just price stability. So it's and the primary and overarching objective of ECB is to maintain price stability, and it aims to keep inflation of Eurozone close to but below 2%. And that's the most important, but it have some objective like ECB is responsible for implementing monetary policy and it conducts foreign exchange operation to manage the external value of the euro, and it also manage the foreign exchange reserves of Eurozone countries. And the last is it plays a role in promoting to the smooth operation of payment system within Eurozone, just Eurozone. And ECB differs from most other central banks in some key aspects. The first and the most important one is, unlike many central banks, the ECB has a single clear objective of maintaining price stability, while other central banks may have dual mandates, including some objects such as like full employment and something like that. But ECB just have one primary focus is on controlling inflation. And the second is, unlike central banks in country with a single government bond market, the ECB has had to use short-term repurchase agreements with member banks for its open market operation. So that's all.
Yeah, thank you, Ngọc. I think one of the very important points Ngọc just said is that the ECB have a single mandate, but other central banks, other central banks have dual mandates. So there are always two main important goals for central banks, which is the first one is price stabilization or control the interest rate or control the price, whichever they may say, but that's one of the main mandate. The second one is keep the employment rate high or unemployment rate low. That is the second mandate. But because Eurozones have 19 countries under European Central Bank, and they have different government. They even have different currency beside euros, right? So that's why it's more difficult for euro European Central Bank to have dual mandates, and also because they have different government, different system, different election periods, as well as different in any other aspects. So that's why they have a single mandate, and that's really important point to remember between European Central Bank with other banks. So that's why when you see the policy by any central bank, you need to know the organization as well as the structure of that European, that central bank. Okay, so that's a very good point of. Okay.
I'm sorry, I
Yes.
have a mistake. Yes, I'm from group 5, not true.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me put it down here. Group 5. How about other group? Do you have any other to add into the first question? I think group 1, group 9, and group 5 already have a lot of information that you may learn from and can use to distinguish between ECB and the other central banks. So let's go to their policy during the pandemic, answering the second question. So I hope that other group can contribute to the second question, because maybe the first question all the groups presented already have a very good answer. Okay, how about the pandemic emergency purchase program? About group 2, do you have any ideas about the second question? Group 2? Wait, Lê Tâm Nhi, okay? Nhi?
I'm from group 4, and I have and I will answer for this question.
Okay. Wait for me. You are from group 4, right?
4, yes.
Okay.
The pandemic emergency purchase program was a temporary asset purchase program launched by the European ECB in March 2020 in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The program aimed to counter the severe disruption to the euro area economy caused by the pandemic by purchasing large amount of public and private sector securities. About the objectives of the pandemic emergency purchase program, the main objective is monetary condition. By purchasing large amounts of security, the ECB aimed to lower borrowing costs for businesses and households, thereby stimulating investment and consumption. Second, support market liquidity. The PEPP helped to improve liquidity in financial market, making it easier for businesses and government to raise funds. The next one is counter fragmentation. By purchasing security from own euro area countries, the PEPP helped to prevent a widening of spread between the yield of different countries' bonds, which could have threatened financial stability. The implementation of PEPP. The PEPP was initially launched with an envelope of 950 billions, which were later increased to 1.85 trillion. The program was implemented in a flexible manner, with the ECB adjusting its purchase volume, and asset classes in response to market conditions. About the impact of the PEPP, it was a significant success in achieving its objectives. It helps to ease monetary conditions, support market liquidity, and counter fragmentation. It also played a key role in preventing a deeper economic downturn in the euro area. The reasons for implementing PEPP during the pandemic, the ECB decided to implement the PEPP during the pandemic to counter the serious risk posed by the escalating diffusions of the coronavirus. The main objectives was to alleviate the upward pressure on internet rates faced by a nation and to ensure the smooth transmission of monetary policy. And the PEPP was a necessary and effective policy response to the COVID-19 pandemic. It helped to stabilize the euro area economy and prevent a deeper economic downturn. That's all our answer for these questions.
Okay, thank you, Nhi. I think that's a really comprehensive answer, but there is 0 point. Some people may want to make it add to it. The first one is you talk about the economic downturns, right? So that's why. Which group are you in? Group 4, right? Hello.
She's from group 4.
Okay, group 4. Okay. So you talk about the economic downturn during that times, and obviously during that time, COVID-19 impacted all the industries and economics, right? Economies. So that's why the economic development is slowing down, was slowing down. So that's why all the central banks around the world try to protect their industry and try to reduce the negative impact of the COVID-19. So that's why they try to, what did they use? I have a question for you. If they purchase the securities and all type of the repurchase agreement during that time, what would impact the money supply in those countries? Do you think the money supply would increase or decrease?
I'm from group 4. I can answer that. That's their policies to increase the money supply, so it will affect the money flow.
So
to
it will
revive
increase.
the economy.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, that's my answer. You can go.
Okay, so it's increase the money supply in the economy, right? And it would help to reduce the illiquidity of the economy, because during that time, people don't have jobs, people do not work, industries do not produce or trade anything. So that's why everyone is in difficulties, right? So when they pull out more money into the economies, it would help the enterprise to expand and to maintain actually their business lines, and also it could help for the consumer to have more option to buy or increase the demands in the economy. Okay, I think any other group want to add information into it? Group 2, do you have any idea? Besides what they have, Group 4 have. I think Group 4 have quite a comprehensive answer already, but if you have any other additional ideas, you can. I think I saw some hand who raised the hand and did not have the chance to speak. Do you want to speak up? Okay, so I think if you don't have any other question, I will let you go now. But if you want to stay here and have any question for me, we can speak Vietnamese now. And I think you can have any questions for me in terms of study abroad, if you want to, how to compare between you and foreign students. And also, if you have any question about future study, let me know. Okay. Cô sẽ ở lại khoảng 10 phút nhé. Hoặc là hơn cũng được, không sao cả. Nếu như các em, bạn nào mà có câu hỏi về bài học vừa rồi của chúng ta, hay là có câu hỏi về bất cứ một vấn đề gì mà các em quan tâm, ví dụ như là các em muốn đi học ở nước ngoài này, hay là các em muốn biết tình hình học tập ở các bạn ở nước ngoài như thế nào, hay là có vấn đề gì cần hỏi thì các em có thể ở lại để hỏi cô. Còn nếu mà bạn nào cần phải về trước thì các em có thể về trước nhé. Hôm nay cô sẽ có thêm một chút thời gian còn lại, cô sẽ muốn chia sẻ với các em những cái mà các em muốn hỏi, chứ cô không muốn tiếp tục cái bài này nữa, bởi vì thực ra bài này cũng khá là đơn giản. Cái money supply thì cô nghĩ là qua những cái phần trả lời cũng như là qua những cái phần trình bày các em thì cô nghĩ bài này không phải là quá khó đối với các bạn, đúng không? Các bạn nào có câu hỏi gì thì nếu mà chỗ nào mà các em cảm thấy nó còn chưa rõ lắm thì có thể hỏi cô bằng tiếng Việt cũng được, không sao cả nha các em nhé. Lúc trước cô có nói là để cho các bạn về sớm mà cũng chưa được về sớm lắm, nhưng mà bây giờ cô sẽ ở lại đây. Chúc các em là học cái khóa học này thật tốt. Đây có thể nói là một cái khóa học nó khá là cơ bản, là kinh tế học tiền tệ khá là cơ bản để cho tất cả các sinh viên trong tất cả các ngành. Bởi vì chúng ta là người dân thì chúng ta cũng cần phải hiểu về ngân hàng trung ương, về các chính sách tài chính, chính sách tiền tệ, chính sách tài khóa, chính sách tiền tệ ở Việt Nam, để chúng ta hiểu nó ảnh hưởng như nào đến cuộc sống của gia đình chúng ta, cuộc sống của chính chúng ta. Cho nên là đây cũng là một môn học mà cô nghĩ là nó cũng khá là hay nếu mà các em về lâu dài các em muốn có một cái định hướng nghiên cứu sâu về các cái chính sách kinh tế vĩ mô, thì đây cũng là một cái hướng khá là hay. Có ai có câu hỏi gì cho cô không?
Chắc là không có bạn nào có câu hỏi nữa cô ạ.
Thế nếu mà không có câu hỏi gì nữa thì các em có thể nghỉ sớm hôm nay. Cũng không còn sớm nữa đâu, thực ra cũng chỉ cần ngồi 10 phút nữa thôi. Ok, nhưng mà nếu mà các bạn muốn ở lại hỏi riêng cô, hoặc là muốn chat riêng với cô thì cứ nhắn cho cô nhé. Còn cô nghĩ là hôm nay sẽ là buổi cuối cùng cô gặp các em, cho nên là cô cũng chúc tất cả các bạn là học môn học này thật tốt, không chỉ môn học này mà tất cả các môn học khác trong tương lai. Và cô chúc các em sẽ thành công trong cuộc sống, cũng như là có thật nhiều những cái kỷ niệm đẹp khi mà đang còn ngồi ở trên ghế trường đại học.
Em xin cảm ơn cô ạ.
Chúng em cảm ơn cô.
Một lần nữa bọn em xin chúc cô một ngày 20 tháng 11 thật vui vẻ.
Cảm ơn Hoàng, cảm ơn các em, cảm ơn Ngọc, cảm ơn các bạn nhá. Thế còn điểm của hai cái buổi trình bày cũng như hai buổi học ngày hôm nay thì cô sẽ gửi cho cô Hương và thầy Thái tất cả những cái nhóm chat hoặc là những cái nội dung mà các em đã trả lời cũng như là các bạn tham gia thảo luận thì chắc chắn là sẽ có thêm điểm khuyến khích và cô sẽ gửi cho cô Hương và thầy Thái để cô Hương và thầy Thái có thể vào link và cộng điểm cho các em. Còn nếu mà trong trường hợp mà cô Hương hay thầy Thái mà có nhỡ hay là sót ý, thì các em có thể nhắc các thầy cô nhé, và có minh chứng ở trong group cô đã gửi, cũng như là cái Google Sheet cô sẽ gửi cho cô Hương để cô Hương có thể tổng hợp lại và sẽ gửi cho các em nhé, sẽ gửi điểm cho các em cho hai cái buổi này. Ok nhá, cô chúc các em mọi sự như ý này và học thật giỏi. Nếu mà có cơ hội sau này nếu mà có cơ hội mà học tập ở nước ngoài hay là ở đâu đó thì hay là muốn có một cái cơ hội nào đó trong tương lai mà cần có sự giúp đỡ của các thầy cô thì các em cứ nhắn cho các thầy cô nhé.
Vâng ạ, em xin cảm ơn ạ.
Vâng, cảm ơn cô ạ.
Chào các em, chúc các em một ngày thật là tốt nhá. Bye bye cả lớp.
Bọn em chào cô ạ.
Em chào cô ạ.
Chào cô ạ.
Chào cô ạ.
Chào em nhé.